just so you're aware, what we'll do is I'll provide a briefing. I'll be able to take any questions when we're done. I do have a written copy of my statement that I'm going to make, so it just makes it easier for you. Just so you're aware, we are going to have a press briefing here at 8 p.m. as well tonight and 2 p.m. tomorrow. So I just wanted to make sure I tell you all that ahead of time. So, is everybody all set? Okay. Good afternoon. I'm City Manager Michael Burns for the City of Lowell. With me this afternoon is Mayor Michael DeVore, Assistant City Manager Rich Lombard, who oversees the Public Works, and Police Chief Steve Bucla. I want to provide you an update since 2 p.m. as of yesterday as to where we're at currently with the flooding here in the City of Lowell. At 7:05 a.m., our flood stage in the city was 17.47 feet, and the city is approaching moderate flood status. The National Weather Service has projected a decrease in our elevated flood stage by 0.4 of a foot to 18.2 feet. At this time, we still anticipate cresting after 7 p.m. on Friday evening. We anticipate our flood level to be in this state for approximately 12 hours before we see a reduction in elevation. This projection is less than the flood of 2013, which reached 19.2 feet, and greater than our 2004 flood elevation of 17.55 feet. This would be projected to be the fourth highest elevation flood in the City of Lowell history. City staff has been working very hard and is working long hours to manage this event. The police department has added additional officers above the normal daily complement. The public works staff has been working staggered shifts from 6 p.m. last evening up to now to manage the event. The Lowell Area Fire Department is available if needed. Our plan is to continue this through the weekend. At this time, we are not going to anticipate having City Hall staff on duty this weekend, and all calls to the police department will be forwarded to Kent County Central Dispatch. I will be here throughout the weekend, and Assistant City Manager Lombard, the police chief, will be here all weekend. Road closures at this time are the following. Jackson Street from Main Street to Grand River Drive in Lowell Township is closed. All streets south of Main Street, east of Monroe, and west of Division are closed. And Bowes Road from Fulton Street, which is M21, in Lowell Township to Hudson Street is closed as well. At this time, we don't anticipate the need to close Hudson Street, but we do ask drivers to be mindful and use caution when observing crossing over the Grand River. Want to make something very clear. There's a number of barricades throughout the community. I want to make it very clear, barricades are not suggestions. When barricades are asked, we ask that you do not cross them. The police department is going to take a zero approach to drivers who enter those areas if they don't live there. Myself and the police chief, we have been assessing the flooding in Ionia and Saranac, and we don't anticipate the need to evacuate the affected areas in the city. If the need for sheltering arises, First Baptist Church of Lowell at 2275 West Main would be the location. Sheltering has not been activated at this time. At this time, like I said, we don't anticipate that. Our biggest concern right now is the overtaxation of the wastewater treatment plant. Suez International, who manages our plant, is slowing down the system to prevent an overload. As of 4 p.m. yesterday, we began bypass pumping, which is where combined stormwater and diluted sanitary sewer is being discharged directly into the Grand River to alleviate the wastewater treatment plant from being overwhelmed. The release into the river was also to help prevent backups into the basements. We've notified the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, Kent County Health Department, and the Daily News publication of the county where the discharge occurred and nearby downstream communities affected by this, as this is required by Michigan law. We believe we're going to be in full compliance with this. We did this as well in 2013, so this is not something that's we haven't been done in the past. In addition to that, we are receiving some reports of sewer backups north of Main Street from Monroe east, but they've been minimal. But we are seeing them, and we are addressing it. At this time, that's been our most recent update since yesterday, and I can take any questions you may have.
For those people who have sewer backups, is the city going to provide any form of reimbursement or assistance as far as cleanup as needed?
I don't have an answer for that right now. It's probably going to be dependent on whether or not this area is declared as a state of emergency.
Okay.
Are you going to ask for that declaration?
I'm going to talk to Kent County about that, yes.
And explain that for people who think declaration of emergency, that may take care of their basements or something like that. But what does that allow you to do?
To my understanding, and maybe the chief can answer this better than I can, but when they declare a state of emergency, it's really a request to the governor to declare that, and to my understanding, that allows us to be activated for possibly FEMA funds, things of that nature, assistance from the state to assist with that. That's my understanding of how that has gone. I've never had the experience of dealing with a state of emergency, so it's something that I'm learning as well.
You know, you talk about barricades and you talk about kayaks. I mean, you're really asking for people to, hey, let's be smart to this, right?
Correct.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, let's just use some common sense out here. Don't go in the water. There's no need to go in the water. It's not safe. You're at risk. And if you're going on private property, you run the risk of being cited. So all we ask is stay away from the water, please.
As far as the wastewater treatment plant, is that causing residents beyond the possibility of maybe or maybe not the problems in some of the houses on the north side here? Is it an overuse situation, or would reduction in use help alleviate the problem, or is this it's going to flood and that's going to be one of the end results?
It may. The issue we're having right now is there's just so much water coming in, the system can only take so much. So less use, I'm sure, would help, but there's so much water coming in that we're just trying to manage through the situation.
What led to the decision for the city not to provide sandbags this time around to residents?
Fair question. The reason we did that, we did provide sand. However, we just didn't believe we had the staffing available to do that. We wanted to be able to manage the flood.
Okay. Does the city have sandbags for its facilities? Like, was there any sandbags created and set aside in case?
My understanding, we just use sandbags for the barricades at this time.
Okay.
You said 12 hours from 7? roughly?
Yeah, normal floods. My understanding is normal flood stages go from 12 hours. Once they reach the elevation point, they stay at that level for about 12 hours before you start seeing waters recede.
You mentioned some numbers. Yesterday we talked a little bit. Is it any worse from what you thought it would be yesterday, or a little bit better?
In comparison to yesterday, I do think it has gotten a little bit better. We did go, like I said, we've gone last couple days over to Ionia and Saranac, checked their areas, and when the elevation got to about 18.6 yesterday, we were a little nervous. However, going down 0.4 of a foot and seeing what we saw in Ionia and Saranac this morning, it eases it a little bit for us. But I mean, this is still a serious matter, a serious event, so we're not taking it lightly.
I guess speaking like historically, looking back at 2013, are you all putting in place sort of best practices, saying, hey, we've been here before, this is what we did at that time? How is that helping, if at all?
Yeah, we have a very experienced team with this. We have a number of people who've been through this numerous times, and we're relying on them. Myself and the assistant city manager, we've been here 18 months and 2 years, so we've never experienced this. So I know for myself, I'm relying on their experience and what they're telling me from what happened in 13 to here, and so yeah, for our staff, it's not their first rodeo.
So just to follow up on that, though, I mean, as far as the leadership staff goes, I mean, the city's leadership is, all the department heads are new since 2013. I'm just curious, I mean, you guys have done an awesome job as far as keeping everyone informed and communicating, but has anyone been in touch with, like, former DPW Director Desjardins or anyone to talk to them and find out how they handled it?
We have. One of the things that he did when he left was we have these flood books that basically guide us as to what we need to do when the water reaches certain levels, certain events that needed to be addressed as the flood went on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that he actually provided, so we've been relying on that, yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Well, if any other questions, we'll be here at 8 o'clock, so.
Thank you so much.